Hello and good evening for the fourth episode of the Utopian open source radio show. I'm Yeti, guys. I'm bringing to you this show live from Germany. So good evening, good morning, good midday. I don't know if we say good midday to wherever you are, because obviously this is going live around the globe. So what's going to be in this fourth episode of the show? As you all know, I'm a bit of a paper freak. So I got everything printed out. I can even, if you are watching this on Twitch. No, we're not on Twitch. Oh, we're on Twitch. I think we are also on Twitch. Can show you the papers where I got all those funny things on that I wanted to talk about. Yeah, what are we going to talk about today? Well, we are for the first time having a 2 hours radio show, and to be honest, this is kind of quite a long time, even for me, who's talking more or less professionally all day long. But nevertheless, this was, for this radio show, a bit more preparation time needed. What will happen is that you will have less pace in the whole show. If you followed us around for the last 3 shows that we already did, there was a lot of movement going, a lot of hectic. We were packing the show up this whole hour that we had with a lot of information about open source software, about Utopian, the Steam blockchain, and everything basically circling around that topics. And we were quite short. We hit the wall 3 times or 2 times because right after us there is another show coming. And so there is no way to prolong things just in this moment, but you have to stop because there is people waiting. So what's happening, or what? Oh my goodness, rivals, what are you doing there? Is this me on a big screen? I am somehow... If my camera is good enough, I'm turning red now. I don't know if you can see that, but it's happening. So even if it's not visible. I don't know if I'm really liking what I see, but yeah. Now you got me on the wrong foot, actually. So I'm taking up the paper again, and I simply stick to plan, Yeah, nice legs. You could do a shave, maybe. I don't know.
Can we give away his leg hair locks this time?
Oh, yeah. Well, we could maybe. The raffle bot. Oh, yeah. You just heard her. She's also around, and I'm super happy that she was able to make it, because our great lady of free and open source software had a very, very important appointment today. Where I pressed, well, no, in English you don't say press thumbs. It's like crossing fingers, but only the German version, and I hope that it was fine.
It actually was, and keep those German fingers crossed, because I may have found my next apartment. I really, really hope so. It's really beautiful, and I really hope it'll work out, and then I'll be moving soon.
Ilana, we are just 3 minutes into the show. You cannot start with this German Jewish thing already,
What Jewish? I didn't say anything Jewish. I just said, you said something about, keeping fingers crossed in the German something. And I was like, okay, so keep those German fingers crossed.
I do.
Moving to a new apartment.
I
and
do
it's
in a lot of ways, just... Yeah, well, I'm really crossing fingers for you to go into that, I hope, more convenient apartment, because you said that you're living, I don't know, in the 50th story without any elevator or things like that, yeah?
Fifth floor, no elevator, and it's a small apartment, and it's about time I upgraded. And just the stairs, just the going up and down the stairs. I'm just not that age anymore where I can do that. I'm old, so I'm moving to a place with an elevator where I can be old.
You're still young compared to me, I guess, but Okay, just prepare for your age, which is quite okay for me. So you already heard her. Ilana is also around, and I'm super happy to have her within the show. If all things go south, we have our great Buckydurddle. And he promised to go with his fiddle. If we are really in bad trouble, he will get his fiddle out and fiddle us away. Then we got guests coming on, like Baku Science, who's working with the Da Vinci project, bringing back the translation category to Utopian. If you followed us around, you know that we had a translation category, then we froze it or paused it, and now we are happy to bring it back with the help of the Da Vinci team, and the Baku Science is going to chat with me about that. And later on, no, actually a bit before that, we will have J.R. Swab around talking about a cool project of his. And actually, this is really quite a cool project. He's calling it the Archivator. We will talk about the clear name later on, but it is about helping us content creators have more ease with using IPFS. And this is really, really a good thing, because IPFS has been, for some of us at least, a pain in the ass. Yeah, we're praying for it, JR, because this really could help us a lot. Now it's now time to post pictures like that. I cannot now, because if I'm doing this, I need to go too far away from the microphone, and obviously you cannot hear me. But if you want to post pictures with your foot up and some kind of television equipment in front of you showing our show, please, you're happy to go. And maybe we are doing some raffling for the best picture or something like that. Okay, so this will be the guests. We're super happy. And later on, in order to be more able to talk to you, we thought about bringing back the audience communication that we had it in the first show as well. So if you want to talk with us live on air here in the show, you got your option later on, because we are having, I think, 20 to 30 minutes later on in the show where you can talk with us live about open source software, about, I don't know, Ilana's new apartment, my German finger crossed, or whatever. So whatever ideas you got, projects going on, something about the Steam blockchain you want to know, or questions about Utopian, how the fuck this is working. Ooh, I said it 8 minutes in the show, and I said the first time fuck. Now I'm disappointed with myself, because I thought that I might make 10 minutes.
Oh my god, it wasn't me.
No, it was me.
It wasn't me. I didn't drop the first F-bomb on the air.
Yeah,
I think this merits a drink. I think this merits a drink.
Yeah, true. But I'm really pissed off now, because I really thought that I make 10 minutes. But okay, this is what it is. Today, I while preparing the show, I thought about going around and seeing where we in our company are using open source software, because initially I thought that we are not using any at all. I don't know. Well,
that's absolutely impossible. That's absolutely impossible.
Yeah, that's true.
There is no company in the world that can avoid using open source software, unless they're like, I don't know, a cleaning company that uses no software. An Amish cleaning company.
I totally agree, Ilana. I totally agree. Therefore, I thought, just take a look around and see whatever you're going to find. And I found some interesting things, at least. Because I'm working for a bank. I'm working for the biggest Spanish bank. So it's the Santander. It's not a big, it's a big bank, but it's not a big deal to tell you. And so I thought, okay, but this is a bank, you know. And we cannot use that much open source software, because in the end, it needs to work out, you know. And it needs to be safe, and it needs to be, I don't know what things. And but impressively, we are using quite a lot of open source software in the bank. We have even an open bank project that we are financing because it's the platform that we are supporting. So you can obviously find a lot if you're looking around. Ron, I don't know if this is the correct translation, because you know that Ilana is the queen of FOSS, and I don't know if she would subscribe to that. Oh, now it's really time to post those pictures, isn't it? Well,
everybody's doing it. Everybody's doing it.
Yeah, but
go for it.
Obviously, I cannot. So, just take a look around, and I would really like to know what you in your company or in your, I don't know, whatever you're working on or with, are using as open source software. Well, most likely Firefox and the most obvious things, but just if you want to tell us either on the show directly or later on as a comment. Yeah. So now 11 minutes into the show, my dear Ilana, what is open source news section saying today? What happened?
Only one person noticed that I have a Tux Penguin on my desk, a Linux Tux Penguin on my desk, and nobody noticed that I have a bong on my desk, but that's okay. So there's been a lot of news this week, and most of them were actually boring. Like a lot of open source companies getting a lot of investments from a lot of investors, which is not that new or interesting. What was, in my opinion, interesting is Louisville in the US is having some kind of cooperation with Waze that has allowed them to build a database, an open source traffic management database that they're now sharing with other cities in order to help reduce citywide traffic and help plan cities better. So they're calling it a smart city revolution, and so on and so forth. So I found this really interesting because, first of all, because Waze is a company that was born about 10 minutes away from where I am before they were purchased by Google, and because I think that it's really cool to see open technologies applied to things that we really don't think they could be, like daily things like traffic optimization. So I pasted that link in the channel if you want to take a look at it. Another thing, which is kind of a topic that can be overall discussed, is the fact that Facebook is releasing more of its software is open source. So Microsoft is loving open source and purchasing GitHub, and Google has always loved open source, and now Facebook is releasing code for specifically this time it's load balancer, which they built because existing load balancers just could not handle the sheer size of storage and processing required for Facebook's gigantic systems. So I'm gonna put that in the channel as well.
The question
if you want
is,
to go and play with.
yeah, exactly. The question is, Ilana, if this is, I just gave it a look as well. It's called Katrin. The question is if this is really. Facebook has a gigantic architecture out there, so maybe this is. For sure, this is based on their architecture and made for their needs. But on the other hand side, maybe there is some value also for smaller architectures in there. So I really thought about this quite a long time because there are not many Facebooks around, you know.
And yet, if this is a well-built system, it can be developed and applied for, different kinds of projects and sizes and so on and so forth. But yeah, it's probably going to be developed and used mostly by big corporations and enterprises. So that's going to be probably what we're going to be seeing.
Yeah, absolutely. So I feel the same thing because normally out of these things you can grab a lot of ideas and techniques that you may have not thought of before. So this is really cool.
Even just looking at the code of something that is so robust and was developed by, really people who know what they're doing at Facebook and are obviously making it work, it's something that people can learn from, that open source developers can totally learn from.
Absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah, well, it's quite complex, so I did not understand it at one glance, and maybe I'm not even able to understand it with 2 or 3 glance. But nevertheless, if you're searching for something like that, if you want to build your own Facebook, there is a load balancer now out in the open source world.
Well, since we're already talking about gigantic companies that are throwing out interesting things in open source, the Google of China, Baidu, have a research wing that is pretty much like Google. They do similar things to what Google does, and they occasionally publish it as open source. So this week, a couple of days ago, they published an open source algorithm that helps detect cancer. And they opened it up on GitHub. So I'm gonna paste that real quick in here. So if you want to help find cancer and find a cure for cancer, Baidu wants you to help. So there's the code, and go ahead and contribute to it.
That's true. There is another thing I just fell upon, because what is happening, dear listeners, what is happening? Normally we're talking about what Ilana is going to say in the news items section, and I'm also looking around what to say to the things that Ilana wanted to say. And do you know, Ilana, that there was I think it even was a sue, or at least an accusation in China, that Baidu, a student that was working for Baidu, died of cancer because of that?
What?
Yeah.
I mean, weird stuff goes on in China. Everybody knows that weird stuff goes on in China.
I just fell over it. I don't know if this is true or not true. I think it was not decided yet. But in order to be, having all sides of the story, I thought at least asking around if you have seen that as well, or somebody out there in the audience has seen that as well, is maybe fair. Because, like I said, it's not yet decided if this is true, fake news, or whatever.
If ever we have too much free time on the show, ask me about the time I interviewed the Chinese Minister of Communication.
Ilana, how was your...
No. If we ever have too much spare time and you need something to completely freak you out, ask for that story. In the meantime, I just have to say, Crimson Clad, that is some nice flexibility work. You go, girl.
Indeed, it is. Yeah, well, I'm noting this down, Ilana, now. So if we ever have too much time, I'm gonna ask you about
that's
Chinese,
why I suggested it. Absolutely.
Chinese Minister of Communications. Well, actually, this sounds interesting. Yes. Maybe I should get you on as a guest on the show.
Oh dear. And then Bucky will have to do the news.
Oh yeah, well, actually, dear audience, this has happened as well, because we didn't even know exactly if Ilana was going to make it or not. So we prepared Bucky to go and talk over the open source news, and I think he was super, super relaxed once Ilana showed up and said, okay, she's going to make it in time, because he was almost singing. Oh yeah, she's going to be back,
Okay, listen, I was all set up here to talk. So
Bucky!
I just want to say, Ilana, I love you.
Oh, and I love you. Thank you. Thank you so much.
And I really love that you came to the show.
I hurried. I ran. I literally ran up the stairs. I ran, and just so you understand, I haven't eaten anything since breakfast, and I have pizza on the table, and I'm talking instead of eating. That's sacrifice, you guys.
I have to say, and I'll leave you, I said to Jan before you arrived, I said, this is going to be like Elvis not showing up for a concert, but having somebody fill in and saying, "Hey, my name's John Smith. Elvis can't make it tonight, but I'm going to play
Yeah,
some songs."
but I can do the Love You Tender thingy quite okay. So, hey, John, you know.
I cannot do an Elvis impression to save my life. No, I don't think so.
No,
But thank you very much. No,
yeah.
that was horrible. That was awful. No, I can't. I'm not even gonna. No. So back to the news. Browser Stack that had they actually still do have a cooperation with Utopian, and offered us licenses for the moderator team to use their software and system to debug and look for errors in web services and web applications. Now, we haven't really actually done that much with it. We, the moderators can use it if they want. But now Browser Stack announced about a week ago that they're going to be allowing anyone with an open source project free access to all their products, which is cool because they have like automation, like bug screenshots, all sorts of really cool features for testing web applications for bugs, which is always faster than just waiting for people to discover them.
Well, that's cool. Actually,
yeah, so it is. I think that it is indeed cool. Actually, I wanted to talk about that one right after the Baidu one, and I should have said them in a row. So Baidu releases an algorithm to help find the cure for cancer, and Google releases a GIF for CLI tool, because didn't you always want animated GIFs in your command line interface?
Yeah, definitely. There is nothing better, is it?
Yeah, so there it is. There is apparently a tool now by Google. It is open source, and you can check it out on Microsoft-owned GitHub. How crazy is that?
Yeah, seriously crazy, actually.
Yeah. But I love the world we live in today. It's interesting.
Oh yeah, it is. A lot, actually. Okay, thanks a lot, Ilana. I think that's your only the first one, and you're going to be around for the whole show, I hope.
I'm actually not sure. I might collapse because I had a really, really long day, so I'll do my best to stick around for the second second round of news, but I'm not sure. Bucky might have over.
Well, Bucky's having this John Smith thing prepped, so there's nothing that can go wrong,
If suddenly I go really, really quiet, I may have passed out.
Okay, perfect.
I'm gonna try not to.
Perfect. Well, actually, you know what? I haven't seen the replies because I was in the wrong channel, in the wrong text channel. Now I see. Yeah, I'm gonna call for Elvis, and thanks a lot.
Look at all those feet. Have you seen all those feet? There are so many feet in the channel.
Yeah. Well,
there's some goat feet and stuff. This is
I just wanted to say this has escalated quite quickly, actually. Rivals, you began with that foot thing, but yeah, I don't. Bucky, you is this your feet there? These goat feet? I don't know. Well, there is a collection going on here.
Oh my God, Bucky has a foot collection, you guys.
Oh my goodness. So you're bringing back all the best memories that we ever wanted to have. No, we're not judging. We're not those judgy types, We're not. Yeah, exactly. It's open source feed time. So get on with it. Give us. Yeah, it needs to go into the show post. I totally agree.
Oh my God, Bucky, you reminded me of open source pants.
I'm a bit shocked.
Open source pants is apparently a thing. Sorry for taking up some more time, but this you need to
take time. We are going at a slower pace,
Open source pants is apparently a build system that allows you to. It doesn't really matter. It supports all sorts of programming languages and all sorts of techie stuff, but it has the most beautiful website copy that has things like installing pans. Who is using pans? Why use pans? And I just think it's wonderful. So I'm gonna link to it because pants, you guys. Open source pans.
Open source pans. Oh, well. Not what I initially thought about, but yeah. Not bad. Open source pens. I really had some strange impressions in my head. But let's not just go down that road, you know? Utopian content. Our third segment is now what's coming up. Crimson, you should really... This is good. I'm not going to read it out loud because I might turn red again, but you can read it all.
Crimson thinks that everyone should open their pants source. I think that we shouldn't, discriminate, and skirts should also be open source if we're open sourcing pants. Just saying.
Yeah, true. This is leading me down a strange road, but I'm working in a bank. I just said this in the beginning, and you know that I'm really some kind of jealous about girls being able to wear skirts on work, especially when it's hot. Well, outside, not,
Move to Scotland, wear a kilt.
Oh yeah, that's possible. Totally possible. I should think about that. Pants are closed shop pants. It's closed source pants. Okay. Just yeah, a strange road indeed. It is, Bucky, because I'm always, I need to wear a suit, and this is really killing me because I'm not the suit guy. And let's not go down that road. Let's go instead to the utopian content that we are having. As you know, Utopian is about supporting contributions to open source software, and in doing so, we are having a lot of contributions. And I'm just opening up the latest weekly top of Utopian. Like I said, we are bringing this out weekly. This is done by the great Imvatsi. And Ilana as well, some kind guiding it. And in this,
Actually, I'm not even involved anymore. I just made the template, and then Watsi does the rest of the work, and he is fantastic at it.
Exactly. So this is where I want to lead you today. It's weekly top of Utopian. I'm gonna try to do things all at once. This is the posting that's just been pushed out 5 hours ago, and in this posting we are presenting the stuff picks, the best picks, or at least the things that we found best in Utopian by the contributors to Utopian. And as you can see down there, if you're scrolling down as well, there is also the statistics about Utopian, and I just made a little comparison to last week, and what we can see is that the support that we are giving out from Utopian is still at around about 10,500 Steam units per week. This is almost the same number that we have had last week, and also the distribution among the categories is almost the same. It's still graphics being the strongest with 4,100 Steam units, followed closely by the development category, which has 3,700 STU. Why I'm telling this to you is that I just want to show what things we are doing. This is what Utopian is. We're not trying to get rich by ourselves. We're not trying to whatever make a funny ICO going on and then never be seen again. This is what we are doing. We want to support you in doing great contributions to open source software. And what we are doing with this top of Utopian posting is showing what great contributions we already do have. So as you can see, the other categories are quite somewhere around or under 1,000 STUs, and also what we are doing in this posting is picking some best contributions. So if you ever wanted to know how you can contribute to Utopian, this is actually a good starting point to learn it, because this is what we, or what the moderators, the community managers, found as being the best contributions that we are having in the week of June 14th to June 20. So if you want to know, go there, take a look. This is the best of the week. I just want to note some of them. You can, as you see, we are having a lot of categories where you can contribute to. You can do crazy graphics, you can do development, which is clear. This is the main focus. But also ideas and bug hunting and doing tutorials about how to use open source software, being it video tutorials or normal text and picture tutorials, is also something that really can pay off for you, and on the other hand side can pay off for the users as well, because in the end having tutorials around showing what you can really do with open source software is this is the basics. This is super important. And exactly, like Bucky, for instance, Bucky is one of our community managers. Bucky, you are doing video tutorials, no? I think yes,
sir.
Yes,
video
you are.
Video tutorials.
You can
tutorials.
Yeah, that's great. He's obviously doing video tutorials then.
Yeah, I know. I'm looking at the list here of people that are in the audience, and I know that there are some people in the list here. There are a lot of people here who are very, very knowledgeable on a lot of different very specific areas. So I know that some people here would have a lot to offer to the open source community. So if anybody was interested in getting involved in open source educational content, let me know. I'm happy to help.
Yeah, and totally. This is what at least part of this show is about, showing you what you can do to contribute to open source software, because actually a lot of people can do something about this. So if you can't code, this does not mean that you are totally wrong in trying to contribute to Utopian. It's maybe the other way around, because developers...
I cannot code my way out of a wet paper bag. Or maybe I can. I can read some code, I can understand some code, but I am in no way a coder, which is why my category, visibility, is the odd one out on Utopian, because it is so very, very, very distant from anything having to do with the actual code of the software. So my community, I think, is my community. My category is a lot more suitable for people who really have little to no coding experience or knowledge, but are active on the internet and on social networks, and are somewhat familiar with how to make open source projects more visible, and how to give them more attention from users or from developers, for example, which is something that a lot of open source projects don't even think about. How do we attract more developers? They just don't do that. So this is what my category is here for. But unfortunately, we have not yet had enough worthy activity to put in the weekly. I'm still really, really trying to get more contributors, because again, it's a very odd category and not very related to coding.
It is, but it's super important, because you can write...
I know, which is why I wish more people would come and talk to me and ask me how to get started, because it's really not that hard. All you need to have is a social media account, a little bit of understanding of how advertising works, and a credit card. That is pretty much all you need to have to get started, and the rest I will be happy to teach you.
Yeah, so that's really something that is very important, because I just saw that you're really not in this top of Utopian, and your category is neither.
I know, because I only have one contributor, and he's slowly but surely getting better and learning. But I feel weird just putting the only contribution I have up there, because it's the only one I have. So I'm kind of avoiding it until I have some more, at least competition, at least like two different contributors that I can pick one or something. But right now,
yeah, well,
I haven't.
I get your odd feeling about this. I get it. understandable. Nevertheless, if
So-
he's doing cool contributions, maybe being in every second or so, I don't know. You just shouldn't not pick him because he's the only one, you know what I mean?
It feels, yeah, I know, but like at least two. Give me another one. Come on, guys, just bring in another marketer who knows what they're, what they can do, and I'll just be very, very happy. Unfortunately, again, attracting marketers to Utopian is really complicated because it's so very technical and developer oriented. It's been really, really hard to get my category to become active, and I've realized that the only way to do it is to try and reach out to marketers within the Steam blockchain, because a lot of people on the Steam blockchain are social media mavens who know their way around advertising and Facebook pages and Twitter accounts.
Yeah, so if you're listening to this today or later on, or I don't know, tomorrow, somewhere as a podcast or as a video, give Ilana a piece of you, a piece of your time if you're into marketing.
Oh my god, you're making it sound horrible. Just send Ilana over the mail, your ear or finger. No. Send me a message on Discord.
Yeah.
Don't send me pieces of you.
Don't
message me on Discord.
Don't go down that road again. Don't go down that road again.
You started.
Yeah, it's true, but just let me finish as well there. So, if there are any marketers around or wanting to learn how things are done in marketing, wanting to help open source software getting more attention, because this is actually sorry Bucky, but this is funny, because this is actually what it's about, getting more attention to open source software, doing marketing amongst the developer community to get more developers interested in open source software and things like that. Just go and tell Ilana, go get her on Discord or on any other open source, no, not open source, you know what I mean.
You will find me. I'm not hard to find.
No, she's not. She's the one with the pink hair.
Yep, that's the one.
Okay, thanks a lot. This is concluding Utopian open source new and the Utopian content at the same time. And we are having now our first guest. I hope he's still somewhere around. J.R. Swab, you there?
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we can. Happy to have you. So, woohoo! Yeah, there is J.R. Swab coming on now. People around might know him for his own radio show that he's having on here on MSP Waves. I thought it was called Dev Null, wasn't it?
Yeah. It's called Dev Null. It started out as a blog help show, and then we transitioned into a tech show.
Oh yeah, that sounds good. But this is not actually, well, we can go down that road a bit, because Dev Null is obviously the thing where you're not coming back from if you are there. Or we are going to talk about the project of yours that I just pronounced so badly. It was called Archivatory, or I don't know. I'm not a native English speaker, so you need to help me, obviously.
Yeah, so it's not actually a word. It is a combination of words between. I just basically took the word archive and the word laboratory and stuck them together.
Okay.
So it's the archivatory is how I
Archivatory.
Archivatory, yeah, it's something like that. Archive and laboratory. I just thought the words archive and laboratory was too long for a domain name, so I squished them together.
Yeah, perfect. So, what is archivatory, or archivatory sounds good to me. So, what is it doing? Where does it help?
Yeah, so I run my own IPFS servers, and I take my content and I put them on IPFS myself. And occasionally I'll use, something like DTube. But sometimes those platforms don't always work. They won't take my file for whatever reason. Getting frustrated with that. And it's actually why I made my first IPFS server myself out of my house. Because I wanted to be able to have the content there for the day I wanted to post it. and I just couldn't rely on these services to maybe work and maybe not work. So I just started doing it myself.
And you have somehow, well, I think we all, not we all, but everyone who's used DTube or any other IPFS thing has noticed that this is not always working. And you just made it better, or you found the root source for this thing not working and integrated this into your solution?
Yeah. So the thing with there's like a couple different scenarios of these services not working. There's services where it doesn't upload. And so in the situation of DTube, you can upload your file to Archivatory and then take the hash you get and put that as your source video file under the advanced tab of DTube. And it'll work just like you uploaded directly to DTube because they use IPFS as well. Or if you're having like playback problems sometimes, what you can do is take your same exact file that you had originally without changing any of the content of that file and uploading it to Archivatory. And then it's in two places. It's on DTube's servers and it's going to be on Archivatory servers. And that should help propagate it around the network faster, which would allow playback to be more smooth.
Well, that's cool. So is this also solving the problem that some of us had with DTube videos not being available after, I don't know, 4 days or so?
Yeah, I heard a lot of people having an issue with like disappearing DTube videos, and I'm not entirely sure like what's causing that on their end, but you can take your video, say your video disappears on DTube, or like the post is there on DTube, but for some reason there's no video playing. You can upload your file to Archivatory, grab the hash, and then stick it into the advanced tab on DTube, and it will use that as the video source, and then it will act like it was always there.
Okay, that's cool. So in the end, it was personal frustration bringing you to write something decent?
Say that again?
So in the end, it was personal frustration over the existing services that brought you to write something new?
Yeah, it is. And that's pretty much how all of my development stuff works. This is actually my first project I put out on the internet for everyone to use. But I've made a bunch of things in the past that just solve my own problems because I don't particularly write things that I think are useful. I write things whenever I have like an itch that I need to solve myself. So I made it, and I was like, hey, this could be useful for a lot of people, not just me. So
Yeah,
I decided to make a website out of it.
This is a extremely cool motivation behind it, you know? You're just solving the problem for yourself, and yeah, if anyone else has the same problem, they can come to you, or they can simply use your software that you've written. So this is kind of cool.
Yeah, exactly. And then this is like what we have now. So if you go to that website that Bucky posted, what we have now, this is bare bones basics. I wanted to get something out to see if people would actually want to use it before I spent a ton of time making it super useful. So right now, all that happens is if you go to the site, you get the homepage, you can upload your file, and then you wait a little bit. Depending on how big the file is, it might take longer or shorter. And then you're taken to a second page, and the second page is where you'll find your IPFS hash, and there'll be a link that you can click that will take you to the IPFS gateway. I think I'm using gateway.ipfs.io, and it will display your content. If you click the link, it won't show immediately because it has to still propagate through the network, but it gives you that link so you can use that link and link it onto your Steemit posts or however you want to use it. So it's like the bare minimum that you need to actually use IPFS, and I have more things in the works coming.
Yeah, well, that's really cool. I just followed the link that Bucky was giving me, or was giving us basically, and this is well, it's looking cool. It's not for sure not super usable, but it's like this is really something that works, you know. I didn't test it now because, as you all know, my upload link is more than weak, and if I'm putting now something up there, most likely you cannot hear me any longer. But it really looks decent. So, and I saw in the last sentence that you have a Discord as well, so where we can most likely see you around answering questions, or we can ask questions now.
Yeah, I made that Discord server so that if anyone wants to help contribute or wants to just be a part of the community around it and give ideas and whatever comes up, even if it's like answering questions, that's what that's there for.
Yeah, perfect. So, question is, what is the roadmap, and in what are you developing this, and everything technical?
Yeah, so it's running off of HTML, CSS, JavaScript, and PHP.
Okay.
Basically a LAMP stack on my
LAMP stack, yeah.
server. The server is located in Australia actually because I have my own IPFS node in my house, and I figured that if I was going to upload my content to my own server, then I should have the other server I own on the other side of the world to make it easier to reach for people on different sides of the globe. So that's why I picked Australia, because it's the furthest away from me. And they're just using a LAMP stack basically, have JavaScript embedded in very little JavaScript. It's literally there just to show a GIF of a loading bar so that people know that the button clicked and it's actually doing something. Yes, that's my post about the video showing how I use it, and that's actually a little out of date now because I changed some things. But
oh really? This was just from yesterday.
I know.
I thought I'm bringing here latest news. It was posted from you by yesterday, so yeah, okay. So it's already out of date.
Well, it's out of date in the sense that like it might look a little different, but it does the same thing. It still does the same thing. There's still two buttons you have to click, and that's it. So watching that video, you'll still know how to use the service as in its current form. And currently I am the roadmap I'm working on right now. I am in the process of getting user accounts created. So I actually have on a branch of my development branch, it is now have a working login system. So you can create an account and it uses PHP to salt and hash the password you create, puts it in a database, and then you can log in, and that's the future for that. Once what I plan to do is have it so when you log in, there's going to be an upload bar at the top, and then down below the upload bar will be a list of all of your previous uploads, so you can easily grab hashes for files that you uploaded in the past. That's one of the problems I kind of face with IPFS just using the CLI, is that I would upload content to IPFS, but there was no way for me to retrieve the hash unless I copied and pasted it myself manually every time. And so what I started doing was making a script that would just save it for me by default into like a text file, so I just had information. And so that's what I want to do. That's probably like the biggest thing I have to do right now, is make it so you can create an account and be able to view your previous uploads and their hashes so you can use them whenever you need to.
Just for your own login purposes, no? Because obviously it would be possible to use this already in a Steam post, no?
Yeah, in its current form, the upload is you can use it. There's no reason to have a user password. User accounts are going to be is if you want to upload larger files, you'll probably have to have an account for that. If you want to save your uploads into a database with your username, so that you can retrieve the information, so you can see what you uploaded, when you uploaded it, and what the hash is. So if you want to use it again sometime, you can easily find it. Those are like the special features that are going to be implemented with the user accounts. But as of right now, there's no user accounts for on production. The server just has the upload service.
Yeah, okay, understood. And an interesting question from Bucky. Is there much cost to you to offer this service?
Yes, there is.
What are you going to do about it? Because are you just humanitarian, cool, and just loving to share things?
So right now I have the server I paid in full for a year, thanks to help from two I guess you call them investors that I met through Steam. And I do plan on, in the long run, within the next year here, before the server's payments due again, I do plan on having it so that some people, whether they have Steam or not, can pay for a premium account, and that premium account will have certain kind of perks to it, and that would hopefully help pay for the server. Outside of that, I not really trying to make money off of it. If it can support itself and it's useful, that's kind of my goal right now.
Yeah, well, look at what TechSlot is typing. We for sure think that this could add super much worth to the Steam blockchain and to the IPFS world in general, because having something usable out there for all these content creators would really maybe save time that they could use to create content and not worry about where my IPFS things are right now. So I definitely think that this is adding worth, and if you start tagging Utopian correctly somehow, I think that Utopian is more than delighted to support this as well.
Yeah, actually, this is the first time I ever used Utopian. Like I said, it's actually my first project I actually put out into the wild for anyone to use. And so yeah, I got the report and I was like, okay, like yeah, it makes sense. I didn't know what I was supposed to be doing. I just kind of like, here's the template, fill it out. I thought that was pretty much all I had to do. But learning a lot with that, and yeah, what you said about content creators, like not having to worry about their content.
Yeah, exactly. They shouldn't worry about IPFS hashes and things like that. This should just work out of the box, shouldn't it?
Oh yeah, yeah, and that's what I'm aiming for. Is because like I for me it was easy to spin up a Ubuntu server somewhere and then download the IPFS, compile it, install it in my local bin, and then use it through the CLI, learn how to set it up, learn how to like open the ports. I knew how to open ports, but like learn how to go into the config file and change ports and turn off like network discovery and all kinds of stuff that you have to do to not like piss off your ISP and your
yeah, this is done quite easy. Having a service like that, you can piss off your ISP easily.
It's very much so. And so yeah, that's what I want to do. I want to make it easy, and I think all someone has to do is click 2 buttons, upload their file, and they get the link and a hash. If they want the hash, they can use it, or link and open up in the IPFS link and use that. Watch their content, look at their content, listen to their content.
Yeah, perfect.
Trying to like take the barrier to entry down as much as possible.
Perfect. So where are you right now? You for sure have a roadmap, at least in your head. So where are you on a completion scale?
Yeah. So right now, I have user account creation and login working, and my current task is PHP to create a table and a database for a user upon user account creation, and then have that table in the database be able to have PHP retrieve the content of that database. So IPFS will have that put out the hash, and then I'll have PHP say, okay, here's the hash, stick it in this database for later retrieval. That's my current hurdle.
Okay, well, but it sounds like cumbersome, but it sounds like doable as well, no?
Yeah, I think so. It's just kind of like I've never actually had to
sorry.
access.
Oh, my goodness. I was just looking at the meme. Sorry. I'm not laughing about your fantastic project, but about what Claymon is just doing.
Yeah, it's okay. It's funny. Yeah, like I was saying, like this is actually the first time I ever had to tell PHP to like use MySQL. So there's a bit of a learning curve there, but it'll happen soon enough.
Yeah, great. Really a great project. And by the way, what I just learned as well scrolling down the post is that you're also having a witness server, no?
Yeah, I started my witness server beginning of this year, maybe the end of last year. It's been a while. But yeah, I have one.
So, and it's still around for being voted, no?
Yes, it is. If you go to Doreco's website with the witness list, and you sort by active members, I'm like number 99 right now.
Oh yeah, not bad. So if any one of us down there listening today or on the video stream or on Twitch or wherever you are has a free witness vote that he wants to give out to cool content creators or developers on this blockchain, or for IPFS or for new technologies at all, for sure Traders Web could use a vote as well. Because obviously he's not
He
doing
already
it
has mine.
perfect, but
He already has mine.
he doesn't have mine. But later on, if I'm now trying to do this, it's seriously all going to break and explode, and so I'm not doing it live, but I'm going to do it later on. Because actually, what we learned about you is that you're not wanting it for the money, but you want somehow to at least have a 0-0. In Germany, you would say a Nullsummenspiel. I don't know what this is in English. It's like something where you don't gain anything, but you're not losing money on the other hand side.
Yeah, we call it
Break even.
Yeah, breaking even.
Oh yeah. Yeah, I know that word, but you know, sometimes I'm not remembering things. I'm getting old. It's like I just said this morning in a chat that I was at the haircutter. I know that I'm totally off topic now, but I thought, are there scissors existing that are only cutting brown hair? Because obviously I went into this haircutter with brown hair and I came out with grey ones, and this is quite going the wrong way, you know. Yeah, you see this meme up there. This is not how I look anymore. It's grey. But yeah, okay. Well, I just needed to tell this because it's obviously on my mind. So it's out now. I'm grey. And
We can see you on the video.
oh yeah, shit!
can
You
see
can
you in
see
the
us,
video.
me on the video. See, this is grey, but my camera is not good enough. This is cool. So it still looks kind of maybe grayish only. Okay, but going back to you. So you will push out as next in your project the account creation, and you will also feature some premium accounts. What was the main feature of the premium thing again?
Yeah, I'm still working out what's going to be a premium feature and what's not going to be. User accounts are the next big release is going to be all user account stuff. And at that release, it's just going to be, you can create an account, you can upload larger files, maybe up to 1 gigabyte.
Oh yeah, you have kept it at 500 megs, no?
Yeah. That's what I have right now, just to keep, because storage
sure.
is expensive.
Sure.
And then, yeah, so in the next release is going to be user accounts, and in that user account, you're going to be able to see your previous uploads in your own user table on a database. And then after that, I'm going to be talking with the 2 people that help pay for the server, kind of see what they feel is a good thing to pay for. We have plans to create playlists. So if you want to select all of your audio files and make a playlist, like an RSS feed for a podcast or a video vlogging list like that, we want to do all that stuff too. But that's much further down the line. We need to get the account working first, and luckily I have the account creation and logging in working. So now I just have to get the database set up so people can actually use it to find their past uploads.
Yeah, but this is really sounding like a very, very good idea. I will for sure ask all content creators I know to give Archivatory a shot in trying to use it for their next video uploads. Simply supporting you is making sense as well. Are you already in this very important project owners list that Ilana is having at Utopian?
I am unsure. I'm sure I can find out pretty easily.
Not yet. I'm working on it. I have a lot of plans for this smart man over here.
Yeah, because I think this is really a great innovation and something that we really should look into. Hey, Diego, by the way.
You missed all the good parts, Diego. Now you show up.
Directly get shouted at. Yeah, no, but there is a let's give it. Oh, there is another Bucky meme I need to see. Oh yeah. So Bucky, you're kind of dangerous, aren't you? Well, let's not go down that road. Let's not get bogged down with the dangerousness of Bucky. No, I think this really is some kind of project that we really want to see on this blockchain, because all the current solutions are not working that great. Yeah, I really love to talk to you, JS Web. So if the next thing is coming out, the next release, the next big release, I'm happy to have you back on the show. And I'm sure that all the guys and ladies out there are happy to see all the updates coming. And just as a last remembrance, like I said, there is a very important project, Owners Project. It's a bit crazy, but it's called like that out there, where we are supporting exactly people like you with marketing issues, with, I don't know, copywriting, with helping in a lot of things. And Ilana is doing this more or less herself, together with a team, I think.
Actually, FSPOEM is managing it now, the
okay.
god that he is. He's awesome, and he's managing it.
Oh, he's got his even follow bot around, no?
He has his own bot. He
Yeah,
has
there
an
is
FSPOEM bot, which is a work of art in its own right.
True.
But the VIPO club is something that I've mentioned last week, and I'm going to mention it again. It's basically for open source project owners who want help with their project and who want a direct connection to the community managers and help with creating task requests, as well as inclusion in the whitelists for bug hunting and visibility and copywriting and graphics and stuff like that. For example, if you want to make that website archivatory a lot fancier, just make a graphics task request, tag it correctly, and have contributors make your pretty website.
That actually, it's cool you mentioned that, because that's actually one thing I need. I literally need graphic designers because I'm terrible at it.
We have a whole category full of them, and go for it.
Sorry, muted my microphone while typing. Yeah, exactly. So this is the way that we can help in bringing contributors to projects that need contributions. This is actually, what we are trying to aim at Utopian. So if anybody needs help, because like me, I'm also very, very bad at doing graphics, but I'm quite good at doing some coding. So this is something where Utopian definitely can help, because there are a lot of very, very talented and cool and, I don't know, talkative contributors out there wanting to help you with your open source project. So that's basically what we're trying to do at Utopian. So JR, any last famous last words this way around?
No, I think that's pretty much it. I already mentioned that I need help with the artsy stuff. Happy to be on the show. It's an honor to be able to talk about this, and I'm glad that.
Well, it's our honor to have you here and to have you having us taking part in your solution to your own problems. Because obviously we got those problems as well. Exactly this IPFS problem I have heard a lot of times already, and I had myself. So thanks a lot for you doing solutions for our problems, actually. Perfect.
Yeah, no problem. I want to make this a community thing and not just a me thing. So if anyone wants to help out or have any ideas or whatever, just feel free to reach out. If you want the link to the Discord channel, just go ahead and send me a direct message and I can get it for you.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, JR, for being on the show. It has been a pleasure talking to you, and I'm really wishing the best of luck to your project, Archivatory. So all you content creators out there, give it a go, test it thoroughly, and if you find bugs, you can file them over Utopian, or you can ask JR directly, or you can do both things at one time and even be rewarded for it. Thanks a lot, JR. And I don't know if you noticed, but we just had 64 minutes of open source radio show. So normally we would have already hit the wall. This is like Ron is putting it, Ron, the magic wizard of sound, together with Globo in the background. working for you to hear as well. And I'm you know what's happening? I'm really some kind of distracted by all these feed things going around here. So I really need to scroll somewhere where I can see no feed.
Did you find feed distracting?
I need to really think about what I'm saying now thoroughly, obviously. Yeah, well, at least there is some Achilles heel to a foot. So, yeah.
You don't want to step in it.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't want to go down that road. So, don't let us...
Tiptoeing around the subject.
Come on. I gotta put my foot down. Move along, please.
Oh, yeah. Thanks a lot, Bucky, for interrupting with this very, very important addition as well. And if my camera is working now, you would see me again going red or blushing, how you say it in English.
Hey, Alana, I think that I think you should have like a competition to see how red we can make him on his camera. I'm gonna burn the lens.
Don't dare me! Don't dare me on things like that. Didn't I already say, like, I wrote this in the chat. I wrote that if we ever have like way too much free time, after my story of the Chinese Minister of Communications, I also have a story about one of my previous careers, and it's very very spicy.
This is making me really nervous, and I'm searching for a pen now, because obviously I need to get out some messages over the camera, because I'm obviously getting kidnapped in my own show. But yeah, let's just not go down that road. Thanks a lot. Yeah, I should. Oh yeah, Claiborne, this was impressive. And I even could read it before it was gone. Yeah, thanks a lot for letting me blush in my own show. It's a great experience I didn't have before. So yeah, exactly, this is what happening. Wait, I'm gonna put a face as well. So let's just go shortly through the audience. We have Alex Sicky down there. We have Asperger Kids. Oh, and I forgot the hashtag vaccines cause Evie, and then my Discord window is gone. We got Chef Tony, we got Seco, and Claiborne, who's obviously managing to have some very, very cool memes out there. I don't even know how to pronounce meme in English. I just try how it's written down. We have Crimson, who's obviously having shoes and feet as well. We have Dareworth, Engine Witty, Greyland, J Ringo. J Ringo, do I know you from Gridcoin? Yes, I do. I definitely do. We have Mr. Lightning. We have the audio feed, which is obviously not a person. We have Pensive down the road. Well, Pensive, my dear Welsh friend. Or you're just living in Wales? Cannot remember. We have Ron, the master of sound. We have Rebel. We have Roy.
You just kind of skipped over Mr. Lightning and didn't notice what I wrote. He's the bravest man here.
You know, there are so many things going on, and I still have to concentrate, not thinking about feet, because obviously you wanted to plant this into my head.
No, I'm talking about Mr. Lightning being the bravest man on here.
Oh yeah, Mr. Lightning. I just jumped over him. Why is he the bravest man in here? Did I miss something?
Because he's my husband.
Oh. Yeah, this is bravery.
You're right. So,
yeah, true. Yeah. And we got Sandman and SNW Olak, Snowlax, I don't know. And we got Taiki and Wally. Thanks a lot for all you being around here. And we for sure got some people watching us on Twitch. D-Live, I think we are on D-Live as well. No, Ron, are we? I think we are. And yes, I can only support Bucky that you are a brave and extraordinary man, obviously, because having Ilana on a radio show can be some kind of, it's not pain, but it's something more, it's something a bit darker than that, you know. You never know.
It's a pleasant pain. You know it hurts, but you kind of love it.
Yeah. Some kind of that. You can, you just cannot quit, but it's on the other hand side. Yeah. So, you're a brave man. Okay. Thanks a lot for you being around. So this is the second hour of the Open Source Radio Show. And what we are going to do in the second hour. First of all, we are going to start off with another talk about news that are around the open source software community and the open source software usage out there. Because I have taken a look myself, I'm able to talk as well a bit about it, Ilana. So I will take away the first minutes. Because as you might know or not, there is a study just came out yesterday, I think. And what is in that study is that Switzerland is really looking into, or the community in Switzerland and the firms and companies in Switzerland are much more into using open source software. Obviously closed the window where I had this prepared. But it's a lot. It's the numbers went up to 25% of the companies really using open source software on a day-to-day basis in Switzerland, and the numbers are going up dramatically because they did this last year as well. So obviously, even though this is open source and free and open source software, it is getting more and more used, and the whole community and the state Switzerland is also looking into possibilities to use this more and more. Oh, by the way, we had one city in Germany completely on Linux with I don't know what flavor it was, but it was Munich. It was a big city. Does anyone out there know how this went? I think, are they now back in using Windows, or are they? There was a long discussion about going back to Windows out of whatever reason. But at least this was one great success that open source software had a few years ago already, when a whole city and all the city clerks and helpers and stuff was turned around in using open source software on a day-to-day basis, which is actually very possible, because you got everything out there, you got everything just like you would use it on the Windows. It's just some of the times looking a bit different. Yeah, this was one of the news items that really struck my eye, because this is quite a good movement that is in a good direction that we're going there. It does not necessarily need to be software from Microsoft or software from any other big company that is keeping the motor turning. It can also be open source software done by us around here, and it doesn't necessarily have to be any bit worse than this software. Oh, now Kralin, thanks a lot for digging this up. Oh yeah, I thought about that. It was Linux, yeah, exactly. Yeah.
In Israel, this isn't news. I'm sorry for interrupting you, but in Israel, it's not news at all. Our government made a lot of its code source open to the public back in April, I believe. It's available on GitHub. So if you want to use code that was developed by the Israeli government for its own uses, it is available online on GitHub. I think that's another way that governments are moving forward in connecting to the open source ecosystem. Not only is, like, I know that the Israeli government is loving open source and they're very supportive of open source initiatives in the country, but because it feeds them, and they can feed it back. Because by publishing this as open source, they can have contributors solve issues, find bugs, and things that they can, instead of investing a lot of money into it, they can just, use the community to develop things that the government systems and computer systems need. So I think that this is a really cool moment in my opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. But Kralin is right. The market, the might of Microsoft is still not unbroken, but it's still a very powerful company.
However, it is limited. It is limited. You're forgetting that it's limited to the end user and to most of the servers and infrastructure software is open source. People are using Red Hat and SUSE and all sorts of enterprise Linux distributions. Nobody's running serious servers on Windows. Windows is used for, your laptop if you don't feel like installing Linux or don't want to buy a Linux laptop, or for the end user sitting in some office doing whatever office work they need to do and are using the same, operating system that they're used to using at home. But the bigger market, you're forgetting that the bigger and more significant market is the enterprise market. And Microsoft is losing there big time. And that is actually one of the reasons they purchased GitHub. That, at least from like the stuff that I've read, that is one of the things that people claimed was the reason from like a business point of view. One of the reasons they purchased GitHub, because a lot of enterprise open source development is going on there.
Yeah, that's definitely true. So this is one of the main sources, or one of the main places where this is happening. So for sure, it was kind of a more or less logic move and has been speculated about before. Nevertheless, seeing it happen has also made some differences in my head. But up to now, not much happened, at least as far as I could tell, out of this Microsoft GitHub or acquisition.
It shouldn't. It really shouldn't. All Microsoft is trying to do is get some kind of foothold in the open source world, because Google has it. Google has its arms open to open source. So Microsoft wants to be there too. They've been with their "we love open source" philosophy for a while now, and this business decision it makes sense. It makes perfect sense. And honestly, from a marketer perspective, I don't think that people should be scared of this. The platform's still there. It'll continue to work, and they're probably just going to want to integrate it with LinkedIn as hard as they can.
Yeah, most likely. This is what's going to happen. So in, I don't know, a very short while, we are having our next guest online, which is going to be about cool science, talking about Da Vinci, a project. This is as far as I can tell. And he's also helping us, or Da Vinci, the guys around Da Vinci, are helping to bring back the translation category to Utopian. So you can contribute again doing translations for Utopian, for open source software. So, about cool science, you already there, or should I just wait?
Hello.
Perfect.
Hi.
So, should I call you about cool science, or are we going with Gianluca?
Gianluca is fine, thank you.
Okay. So, Gianluca, where do we start? Da Vinci, do you want to talk about Da Vinci first? Because obviously this is all mingled together in one way or the other.
Sure. So basically, we are a witness, and we started several projects, and the translation was one of the projects we started. We are still small because we started only recently. Thank you, Ilara. So probably most people are not aware about the other projects we are currently testing and running. So one of the projects is, for example, the Da Vinci Times. Is basically we are very connected to science because I'm also one of the curator of SteamStem, and we wanted to try to bring more science into Steemit. and we are trying to basically have almost like a daily news about science, and we basically write excerpts about science news. And we also have a small teams. We had a small teams of translators, and so that's how we basically started, selecting and working with small translators in as well. And also the core team of the Da Vinci is basically Italian, and we started the translation project because we wanted to satisfy a need that was basically the Italian community was there was a lot of interaction between the Italian members, but the language was becoming a barrier because people that speak English or other languages, they were not aware about what we were doing and what was going on. So we decided to create links between language communities and the English-speaking community because it's kind of larger, and enable them to get translations and to translate their posts, and not to pay to get translation, but even be paid to get their post translators.
Well, this is making a lot of sense, actually. So, Da Vinci, and obviously one of the greatest scientists ever, have wandered this earth, and Italian. So obviously, this needs to be the core, or the core of you people need to be Italian, no?
Yes, and also there is probably one of my favorite projects that we are running is the Da Vinci Art. Basically, we want to incentivize the production of images to release to the public domain. So personally, I had this issue when writing about science, is that it was very difficult to find sources of good images, especially science-related images. And being a curator, I saw that many people were actually infringing copyrights and posting images that were copyright protected because they could not find any images that were actually adequate, and they could basically help explaining their content. So we are also starting this small Da Vinci art project where we basically have a great team of artists that are very talented. And
so, did I understand this right? You are part of SteamStem. You are having a witness. You are having your own art project in trying to illustrate science posts. Just correct me if I'm ever wrong, because I do tend to be wrong. And you also are starting now together with Utopian to bring back the translation, or you are going to manage the translations over Utopian, no?
Yes.
So this is quite a lot of things to do. How many people are you around?
It's keeping me busy.
Yeah, well, I definitely think so. So
yeah, it's very challenging to do all this because I got sucked in so many different tasks, and I also have a full-time job as well.
Oh yeah, for sure. You also have a full-time job, so great. Your day has a lot more hours than mine, obviously.
I don't sleep very much.
Yeah, well, this helps. So you can extend the working period by simply not sleeping. I know this technique. It works quite well until you sooner or later just break down. But until that moment in time, it works quite well. Yeah, it's Ilana, it's more or less the Utopian way. Yeah, so you're bringing back translation. How far are we into that? Is it already back?
Yes, we decided to take it very gradually and very slowly because this is a category that had some issues before, and there were abuses, and basically so many users were allowed to submit translations, and they did not possess the skills to translate some of the projects. So we decided to implement some checkpoints, so increase the number of checks on the contributions, and also to screen the users that will become translators. So not let everybody in, but be selective on the people that we allowed in.
Oh wow, is this the actual workflow that you're doing that Alex Tiki just posted, or?
Yes, he's one of the witness.
Oh, okay, impressive. Not bad, not bad. So you already started in getting people being translators again. So you're doing a kind of screening. Did I understand this right?
Yes. So basically, we had a very short recruitment window because within 2 days, basically, we already received 136.
You are doing everything
submission.
at super fast pace, no?
Yes. Let's sleep.
Yeah, perfect.
So basically, we decided to have some periods of some short recruiting windows. So the people that wants to be translator, they will make a post where they talk about themselves, state what's their job and how they are fitted to be translators. And also, we wanted some proof to show that they're actually proficient in the language. So we asked them to add also a short audio clip, one about their native language and one about English.
Oh, this is making sense. Make sure that so you try to directly go down the way of eliminating scammers and yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, perfect. So you had how many appliances?
In 2 days we had 136 submissions.
Wow, impressive.
And we verified every single one of them. So I'm really thankful also to Jose, which is JM Romero and
oh yeah,
Travels.
JM Romero is doing a great job. I know him.
Yes, they lost sleep with me reviewing all the contributions.
Oh yeah, great. So can you tell us what the approval rate was? I don't want to know, how many of those, but it's just about the rate. Were everything good, or did you, I don't know, reject 50%?
How we had the pleasant issue of having too many good people to approve.
Well, that's good.
Yes, but basically we decided to limit ourselves and to only gradually enable people to translate. So we decided we have basically two main roles. One is the translator and one is the community moderator. So each language will be one team. The team will be led by a community moderator, which will be native of the language. And we decided to have a ratio of 1:5. So each community moderator, language moderator, will have a team of 5 translators. And in each recruiting window, we can allow 5 new translators in, and the language moderator can train these 5 new translators and to basically score the contributions.
Oh well, that sounds quite close, because 5 sounds like a mass of people that you can really guide and help and keep under control. No.
Yes, they are doing a great job actually, and I'm really pleased to see how close they are getting. They're really helping each other, and especially if you are like a crowding project manager, you want to make sure that all your translations are consistent. So if there are several people translating your project, you want to make sure that they use always the same translation. They always use the same way of phrasing things, and it's great that the translators also can interact with each other and talk to each other. And it would be great also to have some crowding project managers in the server, so they can actually.
So it's a good hint. So it's crowding that you are using now, or that we all are using now.
Yes.
Okay, good hint. So actually, we are not putting out a call to arms for all translators out there, do we? Because you already have quite many, or do you miss some specific languages or specific skills?
So basically, we decided to proceed with the languages that were announced in the Utopian post. We could have started with more teams, but we decided to. Basically, we are taking this very seriously. So,
which is English? No, it's not English, because English is not a translation language, but it's Chinese,
Greek, Italian, Spanish, and German.
Okay.
But we had a language moderator for German, but we did not find many people candidating themselves for us German translators.
Oh, really?
Yes. So if there are German-speaking people here, just please apply in the next recruiting window.
Oh, yeah, there are.
Yes.
Okay.
Because we found German people joining our server. They just did not submit an application.
Okay, understood. Because as having a part-time job in managing or at least parts of the German community, I think I might find some people wanting to do though. But I think Egotheist is the German, let's say manager, no?
Yes.
Okay. Yeah. As you can see, there are already German people coming in talking about the Discord invite. So maybe if you or some of your people can share the Discord invite in the MSP Waves audience. Thanks a lot. Perfect.
Here you go.
And Rivals and Flugschwein, just tell the others as well. But only people who really have, kind of a thing for translating, because obviously, and this is where I totally agree to you, Gianluca, it has to be some kind of one way of translating things. If I am the project manager of an open source project, I want to have a translation that is really fitting in all languages, and it's not just 2 sentences here from the one guy and 3 sentences from the other guy, and they seriously have the total different styles of translating. This is not making sense. So this is really just about the people really interested in doing cool translations for open source software. How is the support going to be from your side? What are you adding? So you're screening the people for being translations. You are screening the translations as well?
Yeah, we are actually helping getting started. We are coordinating between the different roles, and it's been quite hectic, if I can be honest, in the last few days.
Yeah, well, I can imagine.
Yes. Also because, we're not only talking to the people that were actually in the teams that were enabled to translate, but we also coordinating with the people that will probably be the next translators. We are kind of trying to learn to know them and to see who they are, and we want to make sure that all the good people, they will be able to translate it, to contribute.
Yeah, absolutely. So this is from a setup point of view, this is now really, really making sense, being like professionally guided in doing translations for open source software. It's quite a different start that we are taking, or different direction we are taking on this than the one that we had before, where we just said, okay, just translate open source software. You know what I mean? Yeah.
Yes.
That's it. Diego is just telling the numbers. As you have seen in the Utopian tops post, yeah. As you have seen in the Utopian's tops post, we are now having our best category was last week, I think, graphics with 100 contributions a week. And like Diego was just saying, we had 300 translations a day back in the time when we had this up and running. So for sure it makes sense to go a bit in the other direction, just what you said about screening people, screening the texts, helping, guiding, making really good translations and just like I would need to scroll a bit up, but somewhere Diego up there said it's quality over quantity, which is basically what we are talking about, and why Da Vinci or the Da Vinci team is helping Utopian to manage this crazy inflow that more or less is about to come. Gianluca, when are you thinking about, just because you are so fast-paced guy, when are you thinking about getting the next languages on, and what do they, or what languages are they going to be? Or is this not clear yet?
Basically, we have some other teams ready to go. Probably the next window will be in a little bit more than 1 week, just because we want to make sure that we have enough time to train the current people and to kind of really, we're also making all the guidelines for them. So they just have to, they have everything done for them. So just for every step they have to take, there is a guideline and they see exactly what they have to do. Because especially in the beginning can be, challenging for a moderator to really answer the same questions over and over again. So we are making sure that, we create some documents, so we help them, training the people, and they don't have to explain the same things over and over again,
Yeah, this is really great. This is, I think, helping and going into the right direction with this translation category, because it was really, from a quality point of view, there were some super high quality translations already in these contributions that we had back then. But there was some super low quality as well. And if you're a project manager or project owner getting super low quality, then for sure you think maybe this Utopian idea is not as good as it sounds. But if we are getting the quality up, and this is obviously what you're trying to do, then this really is a great addition to all this coding and graphics, and this is really great, and happy to hear that this very important category is coming back. So you got new languages all set up, and is there anything you need apart from German guys translating?
We will be probably looking for moderators and more managers. I'm currently, temporarily acting as one of the community manager for the translation project, but we'll be looking for people that would be committed and honest and reliable. So right now we don't want to rush and to pick just anybody. We just want to make sure that we pick somebody that is qualified and probably speaking several languages. But I think things are going pretty well right now. So we are going slowly, gradually, and I see a lot of interaction and commitment with the teams. So I think it's the idea of forming small teams is actually seems to be working pretty well, because people are really helping each other and they're more accountable. So if you have some teammates, you don't want to let them down by doing a bad job, So so far there's a good attitude.
No, that's really sounding great, actually. And by the way, as you have just said, Gianluca, you are having a witness as well. So guys and ladies out there, not only the translators, but if you want to support the fast-paced Da Vinci project with its super fast-paced Gianluca, who's obviously sleeping a bit too few times, maybe, then you can just support the witness of Da Vinci as well with a witness vote if you got any left. I think it's 30 witness votes. Somebody correct me if I'm doing wrong. I think it's 30 witness votes that you can cast, so check it. And if you got one open, this is for sure a witness
thank you.
that we can support.
A project I really like, and I really would like to kind of move forward in the future, is actually the art project. And it's actually, we would like to generate more images to release to the public domain. So if there are artists out there, please contact me and we can try to get started and to kind of really
Good thing.
Yes, I think that could, I mean, I'm focused on science, but I think this could be something that will help several different fields, you know.
Yeah, agreed. Totally agreed. Bucky, maybe we can do this as well as the shout out from Chaos Web. Before, maybe we can do this in the aftermath posting about the show, so that everybody who reads this and listens to this and is good in graphics or painting, then they can take contact with about Cool Science or Gianluca, who needs some or who wants to propagate this even further. So this is something that we should really do in the wrap up posting as well.
Thank you.
Yeah, thank you for being around, because actually this is what this blockchain is making great. It's making the people is making this blockchain great. It's not the blockchain itself, it's the things that are happening here. It's these great projects like Chaos Swap, who just seriously wanted to have a solution for his own problem, or like Gianluca is having a lot of solutions around, having an own witness, having this art project, bringing back with a lot of energy the translation category to Utopian, in working with us together. So this is what makes this great. And if you want to support this, Chaos Swap has a witness as well. And as you can see just by the posting from TechSlut, here is the Da Vinci witness. If you have witness free, and it's an Italian witness, obviously they have the best accent. This is at least what Ilana always says. It's the best accent. It's the same when she talks about Diego. It's hearts that are filling her eyes when Diego is talking. Just give it a thought, and thanks a lot for you being here, Gianluca. It was really a pleasure talking to you. And
thank you. That was fun.
And I'm very happy at the next stage of one of your many projects. I would really be happy if you would again be around for giving us an update.
Yeah, me too.
Thanks a lot. Okay, Ron, did you say that I was going to hit the wall again? Then yes, it's true. I'm going to hit the wall again because it's already 18 minutes before closure of the show, and I have a lot of things to talk about with you, because now, don't laugh, it's not funny. And no, I won't do a 3-hour show, because then I'm simply falling over. What can happen, or what is happening right now, is our community audience guests that are lined up already talking with us live on air. And I would really like to greet. Oh, yes. Great. Claybone. Oh, no.
Oh, my God. That's perfect. I'm saving that. Thank you. I am so saving that. And it's a good selfie, too. Thank you.
It is great. This is where the hearts in your eyes are, you know? This is, I don't know. It's just great. So we have 2 guests lined up, and the one is, you know him because he's working for Utopian for quite a long time. I don't know how long, but he's working for quite a long time, and he's already with me here in the room. It's Knowledges, Smiles at all, who wanted to talk with us about some project of his that he's now starting on the blockchain. And as a second guest later on, in about, I don't know, let's say 7 minutes, is Jay Ringo coming up with one really important project to me personally. He's going to talk about the open source. It's not a tool, it's a coin. It's called Gridcoin. So Knowledge, is you around?
Here I am around.
Very good, and thanks a lot for you being here, Bart.
Yeah, good day all.
This is live radio for all of you out there. For sure, we have been doing an audio test, but right now it's not working as before.
This is Buckydurddle here.
Hey, Bucky.
Was on earlier, and he switched to his mobile device for the show, but I don't know if you switched back to the Wi-Fi or what. But Knowledges, are you on the the mobile that we tested earlier?
Uh,
Jedi?
Yes, I'm
am I
still
coming
around.
through? Am I coming through okay here? Is it? It's not. It must be Knowledge's connection.
Yeah, it's his connection. It's
Yeah.
his connection. You guys sound fine. He should go back to where he was when we tested.
Yeah, you were perfect earlier. Well, why don't we do this? Why don't we move ahead with our other guest, and we can come back to Knowledges in a couple of minutes.
Exactly. This is what I thought. Jay Ringo, I'm going to pull you now from. Yeah.
Yeah, I got it. I'll pull him in.
Okay, just pull him. So now you will be coming from zero to hero directly live on the show. Hello and good evening, Jay Ringo.
Hey, can you hear me?
Yes, we do. This is now super live radio because we obviously didn't test the levels before. So can you say something about yourself while I'm trying to level you?
Sure, yeah. I didn't think I was going to be on today, so this is awesome.
Yeah, we didn't think so as well, but this is now a regular part of the show, and we're super happy to have you around because obviously I have seen you in the audience quite often.
Yeah, it's great. I love this. I love what you're doing here.
Well, and I love you
yeah.
being around. So, having spread all the love around, now you wanted to talk about Gridcoin, which is obviously a project that I really love, but you are much better in talking about it. So, what is Gridcoin about? Can you tell us in short words?
I will try. It's of course an open source blockchain. It's its own cryptocurrency called Gridcoin. And we have a focus on science and using all the computation power that's required to run a blockchain. We want to use that to advance science, essentially, data analysis, research, all that sort of stuff. So we incentivize people who contribute to a platform called BOINC, which is developed out of Berkeley. It's called the Berkeley Open Infrastructure for Networked Computing. It's been around since late 90s, early 2000s. It's famous for SETI is one of the big projects, but it also crunches projects like LHC, World Community Grid, which is run by IBM, and a bunch of other fairly large projects out of universities.
Yeah, so I already have contributed to this quite often and quite a lot. And I also have talked with Lemouth, who is a physicist professor at I don't know which university around here, and they are using this actually at CERN for the Large Hadron Collider as well. No?
Yeah, I think so. It's an awesome project. BOINC in itself is an amazing open source project that just professors and researchers use to get their data crunch.
Yeah, so there are a lot of projects out there. Even IBM has a project called it's I think the Community Grid. No?
Yeah, it's the World Community Grid. They're huge. They've done solar panel projects, cancer projects. They just announced 3 more projects on climate change.
Oh, really?
But they're very large. Yeah.
That's
We
cool.
had it on news last week that them looking for developers to help prevent global warming.
True, we had it. Yeah, and you already asked Ilana, why is Gridcoin not on Utopian? Why is the developing not happening supported by us?
I honestly don't know how Utopian works anymore. So a little bit about me.
Well, we can help with that.
Sure. I mean, it's an open source community, so I'm just someone who came on board and I help a lot with the organization aspect of it. I don't develop myself, but I've put out a bunch of proposals. I helped develop the white paper with a great team of people in the community who just, contribute their free time to get this off the ground. Because we have an open source section directly in the white paper on how we support open source, and we'll never go away from it. But exactly. The coin itself it's been around since 2013. And I've done some stuff with Utopian posts, but I don't know how to make it a Utopian project now.
Well, for sure, Ilana and Diego, myself, and everyone is for sure able and happy to help. If you got any questions about that. On the other hand side, yeah, it's been around for quite a while now, and I had some contact with a lot of developers as well. What I just wanted to say or ask, basically, there was also a Gridcoin science witness around. It was, I think, from Dutch. No, is he still around, or is he some kind of discontinued? Because I didn't see Dutch in quite a while.
Yeah, Dutch is MIA. He's doing a PhD thesis, I guess, right now. So I think that's why he hasn't been around in a while. But that was run by him. I think it's discontinued for the moment, at least. Who knows if it will come back later.
Okay, because else I would have made some advertisement, but since I'm not quite clear what and how the status is, I know that he was doing his PhD, but I lost kind of track. He was also in Utopian, being one of the development moderators once, and then seriously got lost MIA.
Yeah, it's hard to say. Good thing about open source community is anyone can come in and contribute. Bad thing is it's very easy for people just to kind of disappear.
Yeah, to get lost again. yeah, true. This is the bad thing about the open source community. On the other hand side, there are always new people coming around contributing cool stuff. So for sure, it's not like head based. It doesn't necessarily need to be the same guy doing all the things.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Barton26, for instance, is one of the developers. I think I am in some communication with them as well for quite a while now. But I didn't think actually on putting this on Utopian. It's quite a good idea, at least to ask them.
I'm personally offended that you didn't.
Yeah, I did not want to offend you personally, because in the end, this is not good. This is not ending well for me if I'm offending you. So
Of course. I'm just being nice to our guest because he's our guest, and I'm being quiet, just kind of like typing in gently. Because come on, how are you not on Utopian? Are you curious to be in the VIPO club? You need to talk to us because you're writing that you need budget for this, dude. Talk to us. This is actually why we're here and why we are around, and what Diego initially, well, he's around, he can correct me if I'm wrong, but this is what Diego initially wanted to support. Cool contributions to cool projects, to a lot of cool things. Yeah.
That's definitely an option. We'll stay in contact, and I guess Flugschwein is also having some conversations between the two, so maybe we'll see something can get built out of it.
Yeah, exactly. We would be for sure delighted for this to happen, because with Gridcoin, what you do is seriously, well, you're mining more or less, but more or less than more, because obviously what you're doing is you're computing cool and edge of science data packets for, I don't know, whatever projects that there are out there, for Milky Way at home, for where you're doing cartography in 3D for our local Milky Way galaxy, or other cool stuff. It's quite really edge of the science that is done in Gridcoin, no?
Yeah, and we also have, their math projects. There's one that's trying to disprove the collapse conjecture, and it goes on forever. There's SETI, where you're...
Oh yeah, the SETI at home. We didn't find any extraterrestrial intelligences yet, no?
Not yet.
I've been using it since 1996, you guys.
Oh, that was a screensaver, wasn't it?
Yeah.
Yes, it was. I loved it. It was beautiful. It had all these pinks and blues and purples. I loved that stuff.
Yeah, true. It was quite pinky.
It's an excellent project. That's where Boink came from. It used to just be SETI, and then the people who built SETI at home made a whole infrastructure, and now it's used all over the world by different universities. And Gridcoin, the cool thing about Gridcoin for me is the way it Our blockchain is proof of stake, but we're playing with the way incentive structures work in blockchains. So, we mint a currency and then distribute a lot of that currency to people who don't necessarily secure the blockchain, but do this research for some third-party platform. And we're working to build up that sort of aspect of it on top of this ledger.
Yeah, and this is the cool part. It's a proof of stake, but it's incentivized. So, yeah, it's not a proof of work thing. It's proof of stake. Thank you, Che Ringo. Bucky, are we bringing cool knowledge back or not? Because we are having 5 minutes to the end of the show.
Yeah, I've been away from you guys testing with knowledges, and I'm so sad to say we can't get a stable audio.
No.
Line.
Oh, there is a picture of Seti at home. But this is already this is already a new one,
much.
no? The old one was kind of much smaller and much not as bunt as this one, not as colorful, was it? But yeah, this is the screensaver, and you can even watch while your computer is searching for extraterrestrial intelligence. Thanks, Crimson. Thanks, Crimson, for also for this, foot and things like that. Yeah. So thanks a lot, Jay Ringo, for coming up. We really could. Yeah. That's it. Yeah, that's the old one. That's now reminding me a lot.
Yep, that's the one. But we actually, before we're running out of time, we do have one. And Diego, Utopian, posted something really important that we did not discuss. And that is about the Blockchain Competence Center of the European Commission going to use Utopian to develop their platform. So that's a thing we kind of announced in the past week, which is Utopian news, and we did not mention it, and that's a shame.
That's almost not. There's no pardon for that. Yeah, it's true. Yeah. So just take a look at this and this post.
The post is linked in the Discord, and you should check it out. It's really interesting.
And obviously, Diego already had a quite interesting talk with him. This is at least what he's saying in the first comment. And we're already they are cooperating with us, developing this. So yeah, this is great. This is really where we want to be, supporting great initiatives and projects with cool contributions from our community. And this is where you come into play, because we are nothing much without you all out there contributing great stuff to the open source projects. Yeah, me too, Jay Ringo. I could talk about for hours as well. And I already have talked a few hours, almost 2. We are 3 minutes out of the end of the show. So for sure, what we need to do next time, and what we will do next time, is go more into detail about this cooperation for the European Final Transparency Gateway. I think Diego made it obvious that he wants us more to talk about. And what we also try to do is not to hit the wall of time again, but we did. And we try next time to make it better. What we next time also have is, I forgot who we aligned for next week, but we have an alignment already. It's Agrod coming on the 4th of July. And next week, it was Tensor coming back, I think. Yeah, it's Tensor coming back next week, talking about his very, very cool contributions he's doing for Utopian. And thanks a lot for all you being around here on listening to us wherever you are right now. Twitch, here directly in Discord, D-Live. Thanks a lot for being around, making this an impressive first 2 hours show. We're really happy that it went this way well. I am really happy about how things went. And it was much more relaxed, even though I'm now speeding up, because we are hitting the wall almost again. Next time, I really promise that we will try to get into the giveaway section as well. exactly, Bucky. Special thanks to Knowledges. If you want to be around next week, if you can make it, we will be super happy to have you. And see you all out there. Thanks for listening. Have a nice evening. I don't know, watch some World Championship of Soccer. And thanks for being around. Thanks, Ilana. Thanks, Bucky. Thanks, the staff.
Thank you.